Rabb is that which governs us. So it has to do with governing and not an attribute of Allah. Asmaul Husna are the names and attributes of Allah. Means an attribute like an adjective and which describes the Divinely Kingdom. Lord is a title, so it's a title of governance. So that which governs us. There are lords and arbab, the multiple of lords. So like House of Lords and House of Commons, the Lords has to do with that which governs the servant. And the Wahhabi sect, they came and added these to Tawheed and said, oh, you have to declare Tawheed of Allah and the Tawheed of Rububiyyah, with complete innovation and was never a part of the aqeedah. So these are made up understandings from them because they didn't like the understanding of lordship. So Lord is that which governs us, and that's why we say that which governs your home. Who's the governor of this home? Rabb al-Bayt. So this was Islamic vocabulary. Who's the lord of this town? What we call mayor, because these are Western words, Islamic words was the Rabb al-Shahr. Who governs this shahr, this city? So this was the system in which Allah brought the clarity of the religion of Islam through Arabic, and it has its realities and immense realities. So it's that which governs us, it's not an attribute of Allah, it's not a name of Allah. As-salamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's that which governs us. Because when you study the Rabb and the articles we have on Rabb, before you know the higher Rabb you have to know the lower Rabb. Those who smoke and drink and have vices, those are their lords. So anything that governs a servant is a Rabb over him. When they drink and they can't stop, that's your Rabb, because the drinking is controlling you. When you smoke and you can't stop, that's your Rabb. Anything you do that you can't stop is a Rabb and a lord over you, and many of them are vices. 99% of people are under the lordship of their desires and vices, and that's the way shaitan wants them. They're plugged into a pod and being manipulated. Only when the servant fights the lord of their desires and the lord of bad character, only then they can begin to think that they're on a path towards the Lord Most High, and that becomes the governing of who knows himself will know his Lord. So as soon as the first person looks, I'm going to stop all these vices first, and see how difficult that is. They begin to fight and spiritually do their zikrs, meditate, contemplate, read lots of their du'as, make their meditation. Then they begin to understand when that fight is intense and those have been brought down, then they begin to understand the lords that are all around them of angelic realities, of pious souls, of awliya, of our shaykhs, all of these lights that are around us that govern us and inspire us to rise towards the heavenly kingdom. That there's so much more all around us that we can't even understand. And this is Allah's rahmah and mercy. If people think they're doing it on their own, then it's a complete egoism. When they're sincere and true that no, they don't have the ability to do it on their own, and Allah has sent immense amounts of support from the Budad, Nujab, Nuqab, Awtad, Akhyar, Gawthun and Malaika wa Jinn, and all these categories of pious souls and the hierarchies of the spiritual kingdom. How much of them are sending support and by command of Allah, bi-izzatullah, by the command and the permission of Allah, everything takes place and it comes to Prophet and then by the command of Sayyidina Muhammad it moves through the Muhammadan government. And that's separate from tariqah, that those are completely separate understandings. Tariqah and the Muhammadan government are not related. So you think somebody is in the tariqah and you say that you give them titles from the Muhammadan government is not correct. There are many Muhammadan government servants that are sitting in a zikr, because the tariqahs are schools and finishing schools, but they're not the government. You go to West Point in America and they recruit you to be a general, but it doesn't mean you're in the army. You go to Stanford, you go to UCLA, you go to MIT, and they come and ask you to join the CIA because you're good at MIT and mechanics and quantum theory and IT. It doesn't mean you're in the government. There's schools that train students to become rijal, and the Muhammadan government and kingdom is completely separate. That's not something inheritable, that has its own structure, and when one dies the next one is moved up, and they have to be trained from the bottom level all the way up to the Ghawth. It's not an inheritable station. Your relative doesn't die and then you take the seat, it doesn't at all work like that. That's the tariqah. The tariqah can be given to anyone. The Muhammadan government has nothing to do with that at all. That's based on a pyramid structure that one dies, next one up, one dies, next one up, one dies, next one up. Because at all levels they have to have been trained under that government. So then those are a much deeper and immense reality. So many of these kutubs and the Ghawth and all of these spiritual people, they're hidden, and they're hidden in zikrs because they're Ahl dhikr, but they're not the head of the zikrs, they're not head of the tariqahs, that has nothing, they're not related at all. It just so happened that Sultan al-Awliya Mawlana Shaykh Muhammad Nazim Haqqani was the Ghawth, but that's not a given in all times, so that's something completely separate, inshaAllah.
As-salamu alaykum Sayyidi.
Wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah.
As I learn more from work about electronics and how the flow of electrons, it's incredibly better hearing it from you. You're making my job much easier and making life easier to bear. Thank you.
Thank you. InshaAllah.